Hello, I'm April Brown with Zelken Financial Services, LLC, and I'm back with the tip, today's illuminated point. All right, so today we're going to talk about investing for beginners, is my job enough? Or isn't my job enough? That's the question. So I recently read an article that was titled Wells Fargo and the alleged aid of $3 million Ponzi scheme. Yes, Wells Fargo apparently aided in a $3 million Ponzi scheme. They knew about it and they let it slide, but it's a whole article, it's a whole thing. It was quite interesting. But anyway, in short, Wells Fargo was aware of this investment group that was a Ponzi scheme. And there were many investors who lost a lot of money. And the article got me to thinking about investments. So the most effective and efficient way to build wealth is investing. However, it's important to understand what you're getting into when you do invest. Hence, Wells Fargo and the Ponzi scheme. So investing can seem like a really big and lofty idea that can wait for the future. But the longer you put it off, the less likely you'll be able to reach your financial and retirement goals, because investing actually helps to create wealth. So harboring your assets in savings or in savings account, it may seem safe, but when you want to make a life or a major life decision like buying a house or retiring, you may find that your savings account falls short. So a job typically isn't enough to reach your financial goals. So let's take a closer look at the importance of investing and how you can get started today. So why is investing important? You work hard for your money day after day, but when you clock out of work, guess what? You're no longer making any more money. So your bank account remains the same, or remains the same every 2 weeks you get paid. So you might be building something, but it may not be as much as you want it to be. So investing makes your money work for you and it helps you to build wealth. So what does building wealth mean? Building wealth is a process of generating long-term income through multiple sources, more than just your job-based income. So that's where investing comes into play. Creating more wealth through investing can help you reach your financial goals and retirement goals, but it can also relieve some of those financial burdens during emergencies like job loss or health crisis. I've talked about this. You want to know when I've talked about this? This is when I talk about the 5 lives. Does your life plan, your retirement plan, cover your 5 lives? Remember what they were? Long life. Are you going to outlive your money, or is your money going to outlive you? Short life, your ass dies early. Rough life, it's non-medical, so your damn roof blows off and you got to replace that damn thing. Sick life, you get sick, you might have to go into a home. Whatever I've been saying, they're saying 18 to 24 months you're sitting in a facility. You got the money to cover that, and then the next life, that's about legacy. That depends on if you want to leave it. So building wealth is important because it can help cover those things. So investing is important because it puts your money to work. Your money doesn't do anything or anyone any good just sitting around in a bank account. You want to know what I call that? Losing money safely. Because if you're earning 4% or not earning any percent, like 2% or 1% sitting in a savings account, but damn, inflation is 6%. Your money's not doing anything. So, food for thought. You shouldn't just put your money or your hard-earned money into any investment. Remember Wells Fargo and the Ponzi scheme? A smart investment strategy combines compounding and risk tolerance to create a plan that works for you. What's compound interest? Whoop, whoop. So compound interest is the interest you earn on your invested money plus the money earned in each prior period. So think of it as interest on interest. It is a win-win situation, and you don't have to put any extra time or effort to take advantage of compounding. So for example, let's say you could invest $200 a month for 10 years. 10. Your total contribution to the investment over a 10-year period would be $24,000. So if your investment has a 10% rate of return annually, that $24,000 would shoot up to around $40,000. I'm rounding up. So whether you contribute monthly or annually, your returns get larger over time. So the longer you keep your investment active, the more benefits you'll receive from the compound interest. So that's why compound interest is really important. So we're going to talk about risk versus returns. As you learn more about investing, you'll often come across two terms: risk and returns. Risk is defined as the uncertainty of a market or an investment. So let me say that again. Risk is the uncertainty of the market or investment. So the performance of that investment is never guaranteed. I'm going to say that again. The performance of the investment is never guaranteed. Experts can make forecasts and they can have calculations, but the reality is that we can't predict the swing of the market. So investments can fail and lose value. That's risk. Return. Return is the amount of money you earn on the asset you've invested. So it's a financial gains you receive from the investment opportunity. So the risk-return trade-off is prevalent in any investment opportunity. A high return investment is often riskier than a lower return investment, but the potential returns may outweigh the risk. So there's always a risk with investing, no matter how big or how small the investment is. How much you decide to invest in that investment vehicle you choose will depend on several things. 1, your risk tolerance. So risk tolerance is a measure of the degree of loss an investor is willing to endure within their portfolio. So there are types. I call them, there are different types of risk tolerance. So there can be conservative, you can be moderate, you can be aggressive, and just know that there are probably subtypes within those types themselves. Apparently, I'm highly aggressive as an investor. Not that you wanted to know that, but I thought I'd share. So the next thing to think about is financial well-being. It's an element of your financial security. And the last thing is future financial goals. So those are the things that you're going to consider when thinking about an investment. So let me say this. I know in the title it talks about, isn't my job enough? And so I want to just talk a little bit about, is your 401k enough for retirement? That's a question that people ask themselves. So many employers will offer employees the option to contribute to some kind of qualified plan. The most notable and one that we talk about is 401k. And some organizations may even offer a match to the employee's contribution. And if they do, take it. Never leave money on the table. Never leave money on the table. This savings vehicle is an excellent way to build up your nest egg for retirement. But it may not be enough for you to live live your ideal retirement dream, whatever that is. Now, I will say this. Qualified plans are definitely the start. So if you have a savings that you're saving for and you use your qualified plans, that's additional savings. And never not invest, because it's like out of sight, out of mind. They're always siphoning money off every 2 weeks out of your check or every month out of your check. And that's a way to build compounding interest. All right. So if you want to travel around the world or move closer to your family, depending on what your financial goals are and what you're trying to do in terms of retirement, these are the things to consider or to think about. And so unfortunately, the IRS limits your contributions to your 401k or any other qualified plan by reducing its overall potential. And so, you can only put in so much. And hell, if you do a Roth, like a Roth 401k, I mean, you can only put in so much with that. So anything that's like, really good for people, the IRS is going to, put some kind of parameters around. Just saying. So with that said, for 2023, the maximum contribution for a 401k was around $22,500 a year. However, if you're 50 or older, remember the Secure Act 2.0, you can also do what they call catch-up contributions, and you can contribute an additional $7,500 or $7,500 to your account or to the 401k. One of the things I want to talk about also in reference to this is inflation and taxes. So inflation and taxes can also drastically impact the value of your 401k savings. And you probably heard people delaying retirement because of their 401k taking a hit. I can tell you, like in 2008, back when the housing bubble, went belly up, I had a couple of coworkers who were actually about to retire and was like, oh shit, I don't know if I'm going to be able to retire. Though they got a pension, you still have your 401k, and you still want that to be working for you. So when it went from a 401k to a 201k, it was like, oh hell, what do I do? So some people kind of delayed retirement, but eventually they did. So just in saying that, that's why it's important to diversify your portfolio and invest your money in multiple areas. So not necessarily having all your eggs in one basket. So the other thing to think about is considering tax advantage accounts. And I probably mentioned it before. So tax advantage accounts can help you advance your investment earnings. So if you don't have access to an employee-sponsored 401k or are looking for more opportunities to diversify your portfolio, there are many other tax advantage accounts for you to consider. So you've got the traditional IRA, you got the Roth IRA, you got a health savings account, which is called an HSA. And if you got brokerage accounts, you got real estate. And then the last one is alternative investments. So all of those things offer different stuff. And so every tax advantage account has its own nuances, withdrawals and contribution limits, and risk. So before you decide on any investment, it's important for you to do your research and consult with a professional. And let me just say this, in consulting with a professional, especially around any of like that traditional IRA, the Roth IRA, those types of things, depending on how much money you make, you may not be able to contribute to those traditional IRA or a Roth IRA because of how much money you make. It's just food for thought. But that's why I said talk to a professional. Anyway, with all that said, remember, investing is a great way to build wealth. That's the takeaway. So I hope this was helpful. And until the next time, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm April Brown with Zelken Financial Services, LLC. Have a great day.